All right, here's number 35, and hopefully you just watched the number 34 because they're the same problem, and I don't want to redo the work. If you didn't watch 34 screencast, go back to it if you need to. I didn't use the graphing tool this time, but basically you'd be drawing a line at 12. We see that for employment, only 8,000 hours would be employed, and we calculated this before. Employer surplus would go down by $18,000 per day, and worker surplus would have went up by $14,000 per day. Dollars per day, or the units. I don't think. Well, yeah, they give you that. All right, which of the following describes both an earned income tax credit and a tax that would raise enough money to pay for it, that would receive unanimous support from both workers and employers? So if workers, if it would cost employers less than $18,000, they'd be all for it, and if it would benefit workers by more than $14,000, they'd be all for it, and it has to raise enough revenue. A tax of $14,000 levied on employers used to fund an earned income tax credit of $180 per hour. Well, that'd be real popular, but notice that the assumption from the previous problem that there's just 10,000 hours worked at $10 an hour if we remove the minimum wage law. So a tax, we need a tax of $18,000 to fund an income tax credit. So this one's out because it doesn't generate enough revenue. A tax of $16,000 levied on employers, okay, they'd be all for it. To fund an income tax credit of $16 per hour, well, that makes workers better off, so it has to be this one. A tax of $20,000 levied on employers, no, they'd be against it because they'd be worse off. A tax of $12,000, okay, used to fund an earned income tax credit of $120 per hour. Remember that we'd need an earned income tax credit of at least $1.40 an hour to have workers just as well off as they would have been under the minimum wage. So everything's out, but our second option there.